Welcome to the Culture Edit. Unique perspectives into the personal and professional lives of individuals at the helm of successful business, athletics, art, and design. Welcome to the Culture Edit. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon. What?
It's an angry Sunday.
Angry Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But you had a lovely ride this morning.
Oh, my day was going great. It was awesome. I got up and feeling good after Florida State beat Louisville in the ACC championship game. Me and DeMeyer were texting the whole time. He went to Louisville.
Sleep.
Yeah, you went to sleep early. We'll come back to that because I want to talk about why you went to sleep.
Why?
The day's going great. Well, I saved 2 dogs. I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Good.
See, I mean, talk about living right. That's why I'll be fine. I saved 2 beautiful golden retrievers that were staying in the middle of the road.
You call them beautiful, but you said they're pace eaters.
Yeah, I mean, golden retrievers are not smart dogs. This is a good example because they're just running down the middle of Harris Trail. So for all of our Atlanta listeners, you know Harris Trail very well. It's a highly trafficked bicycle route. And we were descending, and then all of a sudden there's 2 golden retrievers on the road, and just like running next to us, like.
You said a car was like flying down Harris Trail.
Well, we dropped them. We dropped the dogs.
Dropped the dogs.
And we were starting to go up, and there's a curve, and this car was like hauling ass, and so I just turned in front of the car and it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. Kevin kept going and made them like slam on brakes. Otherwise, they would have killed the dogs. 100%. There's like no doubt in my mind these dogs are dead.
Describe the person that was speeding on Harris Trail.
It was a soccer mom in a giant SUV. But anyway, so we go back to the dogs. Like we roll up to the dogs, and they just like lay down in the road and turn over on their back. Like, ooh. And Kevin and I, and then another car is coming from the other direction. They stop. This really nice lady and her daughter, and she's like, "Are those your dogs?" And I was like, "No, these aren't our dogs. We're on bikes." We're not staying.
Yeah,
we're still in the middle of,
decided to go on a nice bike ride with our
clipped
golden
in.
retrievers.
I'm like clipped in with these paste eating golden retrievers on their backs, laying on top of each other. And just like having a good time. They were just out on an adventure. So,
but you found the owner.
Yeah. That woman called. Thank God there was a number on the collar, and she called, and I'm like, we're like, whatever the address was, Harris Trail. And the owner said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they got that far. It was like miles away."
Like this is a normal thing they do is like get out and like run down.
Yeah. The woman that called, the nice lady called, was like, "I don't know if these people deserve to own these dogs."
Well, I'm really mad at you because you could have called me and I would have gone and picked the dogs up and we'd have 2 new golden retrievers.
I said that to Kevin. I don't want dogs that dumb.
I like them.
They were really, really cute, but they were not. So anyway, so we saved the dogs. Good deed done. Then
But your good deed was not repaid.
Well, the day was still going great. It was Atlanta Street's Alive on Peachtree, where the city shuts down Peachtree Street, our main artery, and they literally just shut it down. I was the only person. It was kind of like The Walking Dead. Like there was like no one.
But you didn't experience the aggression of Tucker Day.
No. No one yelled at me and tried. But Streets Alive is for riding bikes down the road.
Oh, okay.
It's not like Tucker Day is. I don't know what they're doing on Tucker Day.
Still the angriest people.
Angry people. So did that, then came in, and you told me the news that's ruined the rest of our day.
That hasn't ruined the rest of my day. I'm angry about it, but it's definitely ruined the rest of your day.
No, it hasn't ruined my day. It's just I'm angry, and I'm baffled. I'm truly baffled by the process. I'm baffled by the decision making. I'm baffled by it all. I can't even talk about it.
He's getting choked up. But the terrible news is that 13 elderly people that escaped the nursing home decided to make a decision that would impact the rest of the year for Florida State fans.
The College Football Corruption Committee, LLC, which they are a business, by the way. It's an LLC, for-profit business, that somehow decides how college football was supposed to be amateur athletics, but it's not anymore, decides who gets to play in the national championship.
What's their main source of revenue?
The licensing.
Oh, okay.
They have a deal with ESPN, with Disney, with ABC and ESPN. So they're on it too.
In bed with Mickey.
So these elderly folk. And by the way, so people don't know, because there's a lot of endurance cycling people that listen to us, they have no idea what we're talking about. College football, Florida State Seminoles are 13-0. They're undefeated. Their quarterback got hurt. He's the best player probably in college football. So they finished the season undefeated. They beat tons of good teams, beat LSU on the road. They beat Miami, Florida, Louisville. They
beat everyone.
Yeah, and they're a conference champion, and for the first time ever, they're not going to include a conference champion. And their explanation, but first of all, what sport just has a group of elderly people sitting in a room deciding who the best teams are? It doesn't matter what happens on the field. It doesn't matter what the performance is. It's just these people decide who the best teams are to play for the championship. That is insane.
Yeah, is there any other sport that works like that?
No, this is insane. It's complete. If you think about basketball, they take 64 teams. They decide who the 64 teams are, but it's 64 teams, right? But this is just people deciding who the 4 teams are going to play for the national championship. And their only explanation was because your best player got hurt.
Give us for all the cycling listeners, give us an analogy that is applicable to cycling.
It's like Alberto Bettiol winning the Tour of Flanders. We were there at that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember he was I came out of nowhere. We didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
And he attacked at the right time. He was the smartest.
Stars
aligned. He rode away and he won the race. After he passes the finish line, it's like them coming back and be like, you actually didn't win the race because the best rider in the race is Matthew Van Der Poel.
Yeah.
He's the strongest rider. So he actually won. You didn't win. Even though you think you won because you crossed the finish line, because you performed better than everyone else. We just know that he's actually better.
Yeah, his power numbers on paper are better than yours. So therefore he will always win.
And then we have one of the best defenses. I don't know if we have the best defense, but they played the last 2 games. They won the game for who's to say that a football team can't win on defense?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, you're diminishing the value of those other players. And that's, and so it's that's, I guess what's the point of even playing football? Yeah. What's the point of even playing football?
What's the point of playing? Exactly.
You might as well just what I think.
Why don't we just test everyone at the beginning of the season? We'll just decide who the strongest people are.
Well, and what I think about is all those guys who, maybe it's their senior year and they're projected to go to an NFL team. So if it's not within their control to win a national championship based on their ability, why would they even play their senior year? Why wouldn't they just say, you know what, I'm going to sit out the rest of my senior year because, not that they have that choice necessarily, but what motivates them to go out and give it their all and not play safe to make sure they don't get injured to get to the NFL versus putting it all out there so that they can win a national championship, which I think is the only motivation that you would have to put it all, to risk everything as a senior or any age for that matter.
It's just so crazy. And Mike Norvell, what he's done in 4 years to take a program that was literally in the gutter and to talk about culture building. This guy knows how to build culture. He's gone out and he's gotten great players on the transfer portal. People transferred. These kids love him. They would run through a wall for him, and he's really smart. How many years do we have left with him? He's going to go to the NFL.
I don't know. He might stay at Florida State for a while.
No, he's definitely. No, he is really great. So
it doesn't always translate though.
No, it doesn't.
Because what we've talked
he'll
about
go
is
to the NFL,
going to the NFL. Not to get too sidebarred, but coaching at the NFL level where everyone around you makes more money than you.
Yeah,
is different than coaching a bunch of kids who look to you as a mentor.
And these kids do, but he will go to the NFL, and we'll end up with Dion, I'm sure. But
Dion's not having a good season.
I know. Well, that's all I'm worried about. So for Joe Greenfield out there to think about, but it's just it's so crazy. If you think this is the right decision, it's you're not a competitor. You don't pin on a number. You don't understand how It's the man in the arena.
So,
it's
so
literally
the
the man.
The 13 people, they're not like professional football players or college football players at least.
I haven't looked them all up. I mean, they're
like what
I looked at a couple of
them to have this position of
There's
power?
there are a couple of retired coaches. Like these guys are literally like in their late 70s.
What about the woman? Who's the woman?
She's a sports writer,
Okay.
a retired sports writer.
Okay. Hoping she played a sport at some point so she could understand the impact of her decisions.
I don't. It's baffling. It's truly baffling, and it sets a terror. Like, I'm sure Alabama fans and Texas fans think it's great, but you know what? This sets a precedent. This can happen to you too.
Yeah, exactly.
But so this was a financial decision that has nothing to do with sport.
Yeah,
nothing to do with sport. Anyway, we've talked about it way too long.
It's just very disappointing. And so moving on from football, another really big week for you. Mostly,
Spotify week.
Spotify, your favorite week of the year, because you in your mind are the champion of Spotify week.
I don't know if I'd say I'm champion.
At every turn, you remind me how superior your Spotify listening is.
So first of all, it's Spotify.
Like, I listen more minutes.
Everyone is excited.
I listen to more artists.
Everyone's excited about Spotify.
I'm more diverse.
Have we thought we haven't talked about this?
I listen to more podcasts.
How lonely do people feel?
Listen to more genres.
If they listen to Apple Music or like Google Music.
Yeah, I feel sad.
I have to ask John Trainer.
I feel sad for them.
I think, yeah.
Maybe Apple Music has it wrapped.
They do, yeah. I saw they just launched one.
So then they don't feel that sad.
But it's still not the same. I mean, what Spotify has done with this is truly genius. But those must be the people that make fun of people for sharing their Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
It's their Google Music listeners.
Does Them Jeans make fun of those people? Because I feel like he'd be someone who would make fun of that.
I hadn't heard him make fun of it.
He loves to make fun of his own fans, so I wasn't sure if
that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's one of our top listened podcast. So let's talk about our Spotify Wrap for a second. What were your
superior Chad is than
There's nothing to do. It's not a competition.
You make it a competition.
No, it is not a competition. Okay. How can your top artist versus my top artist be a competition?
No, you're like, I listen to so many more minutes.
That's the only thing literally the only thing you can point to.
So many more genres. I'm so much more worldly.
Okay, so I listen to 80,000 minutes. I'm a top 1% percentile Spotify listener. Congratulations, boy, you finally made it, huh? Congratulations, boy, you finally made it, huh? That's it. That's the only thing that's competitive.
But yeah, you also said you listen to more artists and more songs and more genres.
Well, but that's not a competition. That's just what you like. Who are your top artists?
Well, I listen to 65,000 minutes.
You know why 65? That's good. I think everyone should have to share their Spotify Wrapped because it just tells you so much about someone.
See, I don't really think mine tells. My artists don't tell that much about me unless you really know me.
Yeah, that's my whole point.
But you wouldn't be able. But if you didn't know me and you just saw my artist, you'd be like, oh, that makes no sense.
Well, yeah, because they're weird.
Well, they're just like completely unrelated. Like there's no through line of my listening.
Yeah, but that tells a lot about you. When it's like a Spotify Wrap, it's Drake and Dua Lipa and.
You're judging. You were just talking about how you don't judge and how other people judge, and you're judging.
I'm just saying that's
Judging McJudgerson.
That tells you a lot about someone by the type of music that they choose to listen to. She's nice, yeah. Is she in your top 5?
No.
Okay.
I don't like her that much.
Who's your top 5?
Is weird. Like my own top 5 shocked me. Let me preface with a lot of times the way my top 5 is shakes out is based on playlists that I create that I listen to on repeat constantly because I can't focus. I can't focus most of the time.
You listen to the same song on repeat.
Yeah, and so the way I get my brain,
psychotic.
Well, no,
serial killer.
We've talked about this before on the podcast. The only way I can get my brain to focus a lot of the times is to listen to the same song over and over, and then it kind of like it's like the words and the lyrics all blend in together. So it just becomes, and somehow that makes me focus. So if I'm like writing or designing or whatever, a lot of times it's like the first song that's on that playlist is what makes my top song. Mm-hmm. So that's not necessarily like, that's just by happenstance. But my top song, which is really weird, or it's not that weird, but
this is a big build-up.
Ashley Park, who is
never heard of her.
She is the girl who's like the second main character in Emily in Paris.
So an actor is your number one musical
But she's
artist?
also the singer. She's the singer that's in Emily in Paris, like that sings on the street. Like her dad is like
Oh, she's from China.
Yeah, the Chinese like zipper guy or whatever. So anyways, I just think she has such a beautiful voice. I don't know why
How many people listen to this girl?
Like nobody. I'm like her like number one fan.
Did she send you a text thanking you?
She should have. But it just happens to be that song is the first song on like every playlist that
What
I
song?
have. Mon Soleil. So it's like a French song that she's singing.
So you listen to an American Chinese girl sing French
Yes.
because of a TV show, American, what is it? Emily in Paris.
Yeah.
Baby, it feels like heaven. Mon chéri, bonsoir, enchanté. Your hands on my face, embrasse-moi.
I love that TV show. I actually didn't think I would like it at first, but even you liked it.
I did, yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty entertaining.
It's actually one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it's
really
so good. Like,
Yeah.
it really is.
The Bear and Emily in Paris.
Yeah, so Emily in Paris led me to Ashley Park, which led me to her discography, and that's my number one
Okay,
song. Then
go.
my
Let's go.
second artist is Bad Bunny.
Ay, tú no eres bebecita, tú eres bebesota. Friquita una más, se te nota. Le gustan los tríos cuando está en la nota. Si el novio no sirve.
Okay.
But that's because I like to listen to him when I work out.
That's the Miami in you.
I have no idea what he's saying. Obviously, he doesn't sing anything in English. But that's another thing is I like listening to artists that don't speak English because
You know Spanglish. You can't pick up any of it?
no, I can understand some of
Okay.
it. But and then Massoff,
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling warm and bright.
I don't even think I'm saying that right. He's just like a guy in a studio like mixing 80s music and making it sound more like modern. And it's again my workout playlist.
Why don't you send that to me?
I have.
Oh,
I have. You just don't listen.
okay.
Then Lucio.
Not according to Spotify.
Lucio
I listen a lot.
Yeah, you listen to everyone except me. Lucio Battisti, who's like an Italian composer from the 40s.
Luce, luce, di solito così non si fa. Luce.
So that's what you're listening to when you cook.
That and like working
Yeah.
because I don't know what he's saying, so it's just noise in the background essentially.
Is that the song that's da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na? Is it that?
I have no idea what you're.
Oh, you listen to a song that's like, and it's Italian and it's like
Could be.
da-na-na-na-na.
In un mondo che non ci vuole più.
Oh, it could be. And then Rilo Kiley.
And it's bad news. Baby, I'm bad news. I'm just bad news, bad news, bad news.
Who has made my Spotify top artist for the past decade. I would say that Rilo Kiley is my number one artist of my entire life.
Yeah.
Spans all the way back to middle school.
Wow, it's a long time.
Yeah, and like they don't come out with anything. I mean, they do have new stuff, but they're not what they used to be.
Let's go.
Those are my top 5. They have
Yeah,
nothing
so
to-
that says a lot about you.
pop, soft rock, jazz, French indie tronica. French indie tronica is
That's
a main,
one genre?
Yeah, French indie tronica is like my top genre, and then urbano Latino is my other top genre.
That's cool.
What about you?
So my top artist is Zach Bryan,
Mm-hmm.
which you like a lot, and I think a lot of people like
But
a
he's
lot.
like makes me really depressed.
It'll be fine by dusk, but I'm telling you, baby. These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy.
All of my top artists are depressing. It's all depressing.
I'm like happy French, Italian, Spanish. Like, why are you so sad?
Yeah, I don't know. Hey,
You're
not,
emo deep down inside.
Not all of. Well, it was called alternative in my time, not emo.
emo. You're an emo kid.
It was Zach Bryan, country music singer, writes all his own music, and it's incredible.
It's the next Taylor Swift.
Depeche Mode.
All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms.
Is number 2. So talk about going back to middle school. Been listening to them since middle school. Chet Baker, the jazz. Well, he's a jazz trumpeter. Plays the trumpet.
Trumpet player.
And singer from the 50s. He was also, I think, clinically depressed when he killed himself. And then The Cure.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey, and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you. It's Friday, I'm in love.
And then New Order.
What's New Order?
New Order is a band from the 80s that was the leftover of Joy Division, and they're from England.
Saw you this morning, thought that you might like to know. I received your message for a few days ago.
So yeah, that's a pretty weird. But my top songs.
I feel like those are all somewhat connected.
Zach Bryan is not connected to
He's the
Depeche
only
Mode.
outlier.
Chet Baker.
Well, but you listen. I think that's like at
The
home.
Depeche Mode, The Cure, and New Order are definitely
Yeah,
connected.
those are all connected.
And then like my top songs, How Soon Is Now by the Smiths, which is like crazy because I don't think I listen to it that much, but apparently I do.
You shut your mouth, how can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved.
Probably on a playlist that you just listen to a lot.
In Between Days of The Cure. So this was all on a playlist. Age of Consent, New Order, Big Mouth Strikes Again, The Smiths, and then Love Will Tear Us Apart. That's all from a playlist that I made that just got played a lot. But it's like you would look at that and think I was like a teenager in 1983 living in a suburb of London.
But you instead were a teenager living in a suburb of Tallahassee.
Yes.
Much different.
Yeah. So yeah,
What other interesting? You listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't listen to that many podcasts.
Oh yeah, I listen to. This is crazy to me. Well, it's walking. I listen to almost 14,000 minutes of podcast, but it's also working out. I listen to podcasts while I work out. You listen to music. I listen to podcasts.
I listen to podcasts when I'm doing cardio, but if I'm like lifting, I have to have music.
To get you pumped up.
Yeah, well, and I can't, like, my brain drifts and I don't realize that it's drifting. And so like 30 minutes will go by and like I'm technically listening to the podcast, but my brain is thinking about so many other things that I literally have no idea what was.
And then you're lost in the podcast.
Yeah, so if
like,
someone
shit.
like were to quiz me, it was like I blacked out.
Yeah.
And I never listened to
What
it.
were your top podcasts?
Culture Edit.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Hold on. Culture Edit, Huberman Lab, How Long Gone, which apparently I learned is the people that listen to them are called goners. Think Fast, Talk Smart. I do like that, but they don't come out with a lot of new stuff, so I kind of like.
It's always hard, and then it drifts off.
Yeah, and then it drifts off. And then Call Her Daddy, which I don't listen to a lot of Call Her Daddy. I'm more like it depends on like I'm not a consistent listener. It's really just who she's interviewing. If I find that person interesting, then I'll listen.
You're not a daddy gang?
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm in the daddy gang.
You're not in the daddy gang?
I do really think what she's doing. I mean, she's a complete badass.
Yeah.
Like, despite her,
You wouldn't recommend that podcast, though, would you?
I would recommend her interviews. She's a really great interviewer. I don't really like her raunchy kind of,
Yeah. Isn't she getting away from that, though?
Yeah, I think she's well, I mean, she's engaged, gonna get married. Like, her life is changing.
Yeah.
So she's just
She's
not
growing
in
up.
this, like, early 20s kind of party girl phase of her life anymore. So that's why I think mainly she's getting away from it.
What of your podcasts would you recommend? Huberman?
Yeah, I think everyone listens to Huberman Lab, but
Yeah.
though, but like
so
that's
long. They're like 3
well,
hours.
not every single one of them is like that.
I can't do
And
it.
then Think Fast, Talk Smart is really great, but you just hit a wall at a certain point and you like run out of episodes to listen to.
And that's about how to communicate effectively.
Yeah, it's out of the Stanford School of Business.
Okay.
So it's all professors. That those are the only people that they have on there is just professors at Stanford. So being a Florida State girl, not having a lot of professors that
Trying to get your college education.
taught me a whole
now.
lot. I'm trying to get my college education through podcasting.
Yeah.
So appreciate that.
Mine, How Long Gone,
You're a goner.
which is number 1, Prof G Pod with Scott Galloway.
Yeah, he is really good.
I highly recommend that one. It's funny though. I think he's polarizing because he he does this weird thing where he tries to be like raunchy.
Oh, really?
Do you know that?
No.
Like he
Ew,
tries to make fun of him. Like he makes fun of himself being creepy.
Ew.
It's like this really weird
well, I definitely don't want to listen
thing
to
that he does,
Nothing I hate more
which
than
I don't
a creepy
understand. Like he
guy.
thinks is entertaining.
What? How is he creepy? I thought he was like married with kids.
He's divorced,
there you
but he
go.
has young kids. Not young kids. He's got a kid in high school or maybe.
So he
middle
got
school.
divorced because he's creepy.
He talks about being creepy all the time.
Gross.
But everything
and this
he
is
talks
your number
about.
2 podcast, The Creepy Guy?
Well, that's not the point of the podcast. The point of the podcast is he does like market analysis every Monday morning, and it's really good. So if you care about what's going on in the world of business, and his analysis is I mean, it's a whole media group that he's got supporting
Isn't he
him.
like obsessed with the downfall of like men?
Yeah, he is very concerned about, I think, what's happening with young men in America in particular, as am I, and the impact of social media and really just loss of social structure. Like what we always talk about, how young people don't interact or engage with each other because everything's on their phone, and how that's really impacted young men and their confidence and their ability to provide for a future family.
Yeah.
I think about what Scott Galloway talks about. I think it was 1990. The number of individual guys that identified that they had 5 or more friends was like 85%. Like you always talk about how many friends, like how the guys my age, we're all friends. And then now today, it's like less than 15% of young guys that say they have 5 or more friends, which is insane. They just don't, because they don't have to. It's the dating apps. They don't have to go out and hunt for girls, like they're not doing that. So they're just relying on the app. And like, it's the getting out and going out with the guys is what builds the bonds.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was at Run Club. I guess I told you this story already, but I don't know, a few months ago. But anyways, like this guy like runs up next to me and he did say, he's like, I actually recently completely deleted all the dating apps off my phone because he's like, it was such an obsession that I couldn't work. I wasn't working. I was going to work and I was so obsessed. I think he said he was like 24. He was like, I was going to work and I was so obsessed with this dating app because it's like a hit of like as soon as a girl shows interest in you on the dating app, it's like a hit of like dopamine, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like a drug. It's literally like a drug.
Yeah.
And so I guess he read some article that said that dating apps were actually causing the same drug-like react, like in your brain, causing the same type of thing to happen. And so people are becoming addicted to obviously social media, but then very addicted to dating apps. And he's like, it got to the point where if I didn't have a girl message me on the date or connect with me on the dating app for like a Friday or a Saturday, I just wouldn't go out. Yeah. Because if I didn't have that set plan through this dating app, I didn't have the confidence to go out and just meet a girl at the bar or meet a girl at, at he's like, so that was, I deleted all the apps and then I joined a run club because I was like, I have to have another outlet. And he's like, and I felt like I was going to get fired because I was so obsessed that I couldn't work. And that is so scary. I'm glad he figured it out. But like thinking about how many guys out there are just like sitting at their desk, not working, not doing anything, not functioning.
And they don't learn the social skills. They don't learn how to talk to a girl that they've never met before.
Well, and then
they
they're
don't
not
learn
going
how
out.
to talk to each other.
Well, that's the thing. Because like think about how many times you go out to a bar. It's not the girls you're meeting out as a guy. Like you're meeting other guys too. Like you're meeting other friends, especially in college. Like, you go out and it's like you're meeting guys by watching a football game or you're meeting guys by watching a baseball game. And those people become your friends. Yeah.
Well, this is quite the Prof. G. Scott Galloway rabbit hole we've gone down. Let me tell you about my number 3 podcast. Okay. It's called The Culture Edit. It's pretty good.
Sad that that's your number 3.
Well, I don't like listening to myself. Like listening, you'll listen to the episode all the way through like multiple times. And I know it's because you're technically like you're thinking about how to edit it. You're thinking about so
it's not because I like listening to myself. It's because I'm like making sure that I didn't mess up something, like mess up like a editing piece.
Number 4 is a show called Pivot, which also has Scott Galloway in it, but he does it with Kara Swisher. Do you know who she is?
Nope.
She's a reporter, like a tech reporter, and they talk about
I wonder if he's
business
ever creepy
news
towards her.
She's a lesbian, and they joke about it. I think she hates him. to be honest with you. I think she hates his guts.
It's nothing like having co-hosts that you hate to add a little friction.
Exactly. But I think he is clueless to the amount that I think he thinks that she loves him.
Most delusional men think that every woman loves them, even if they hate them.
Yeah. He's definitely delusional. And then the last one is Monocle, the magazine.
Yeah.
They
we
have
like 100 physical magazines on our coffee table.
Yeah, they have a show called The Entrepreneurs, which
is it good?
It can be. Every single episode is a story about an entrepreneur business. It could be like them interviewing us about our business. So sometimes it's really good. Like sometimes it's terrible. Sometimes I'm like, how did this end up on this podcast? It's really crazy.
Transitioning a little, we've gotten really great feedback about Todd. The last episode, everyone loves Todd character.
Great storyteller.
But I'm really excited. We have a really exciting guest coming up who we won't say, but he's very different than all the other guests we've had.
We're moving into the when you hear the intro, when we talk about who we interview, we're moving into the art space.
The artist space.
How many songs did you play over the course of your? Not that this is competition.
Well, I mean, you know how many songs. You know that you have more songs.
No, I
than
don't
me,
know. I don't
which is
know.
why you're asking.
How many different songs? Because didn't they say that you're weird that you listen to the same songs over and over again?
Well, my little description was time traveler. Have we met before? You travel back in time and listen to songs on repeat again and again and again. The best tracks never get old to you. And then I listened to, let's see, 6,623 songs.
That's really good. I'm just 7,400.
Just beat me.
Yeah.
What's your description?
I listened to 4,300 different artists. So my description in connection with that is they call me a shapeshifter. One moment you're head over heels for an artist, the next you've moved on. Some say it's erratic. We call it eclectic.
Isn't it funny though how you will like move on so quickly and never listen to an artist again?
Dead to me.
But then I listen to the same people over and over. Like we're the complete opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to that old stuff over and over again. Mm-hmm. But new stuff, I try to find new music and it just pretty much all sucks.
Yeah. But this goes back to like the whole learning thing. Like I will try and, if I find something that I really like to do, I will obsess over perfecting my craft, like perfecting whatever it is I'm obsessed with, whether it's cooking, designing, learning a new skill. And you prefer to have like more top level knowledge of like a bunch of different skills.
Yes.
I like to know like the skill inside and out. Like if I'm going to be a designer, I'm going to know everything about being a designer. If I can cook this one dish, I'm going to be the best person that's ever cooked this dish.
I mean, that's my whole career. I know a lot of things, not super deep, but I know a lot of things across different spectrums and different capabilities. I guess it's because of what I did in my career. Like I've run so many different functions, but I don't go that deep on any of them. I just know enough to be dangerous, I would say.
Yeah.
Mike Norvell just issued his statement. He said, "I am disgusted and infuriated with the committee's decision today. It's a sad day for college football."
And you can read the full statement.
No, yeah, you can read the full statement, but he's angry.
I mean, anyone would be.
It's so ridiculous. So yeah, it's been a great weekend. Otherwise, we went to Rathman's. We never talk about Rathman's.
We did an impromptu Rathman's bar drive-by.
Kevin Rathman, maybe
such a nice guy.
We should have him. We should try to get him on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, we should.
Yeah. First, I think
Do you think he'd be comfortable talking? I mean, I guess he was on like TV shows, so yeah.
He's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we walk by Kevin every day.
Yeah, we see him.
And so he sits outside his restaurant. And we literally walk by him every day and wave to him. And half the time we go in there, we don't ever get credit because he doesn't see us. But such a solid. It's
so good.
The best steakhouse in Atlanta by far.
And we don't even have steak most of the time when we go.
We haven't had steak in a decade.
But I'm not a steak person.
Yeah, I used to be.
But the only I would say the best steak I've ever had was at Kevin Rathman's.
For sure.
I mean, I guess my sample size is pretty small, but it was amazing.
Yeah. I think it's the best steakhouse in Atlanta. Marcel, Ford Fry does an amazing job at Marcel
Yeah,
too. So
Marcel's really
those are the
good.
two that I would.
But this is in our backyard, so
yeah.
it's easy to pop into the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
Best martinis in town. I didn't have a martini, but you had one.
Yeah, and then last night, do you want to talk about the mannequin project?
Yeah. So my friend Christo, who owns Melrose McQueen, they do an annual charity event called Mannequin Project.
What's Melrose McQueen?
It's a hair salon. And so they have one here in Atlanta in Inman Park, and then they have one in Savannah. So we did wine tasting yesterday, or I did wine tasting yesterday afternoon with my friend Megan because she's returning to Seattle, which I'm really sad about. But then after that, we walked over to Melrose McQueen and bought a bunch of raffle tickets to try and win a mannequin head.
Did you hear from him?
Who,
Did we win?
I don't know. I don't think we won.
But-
Either that or he just got too drunk and forgot that he had our tickets.
So we are, Nikki has to go to bed at 8 on a Saturday night. So we bought the tickets. We put everything in for the raffle. And he's like, yeah, you got to be here for.
But it would have been like 10 o'clock.
No, it was going to be late. It was going to be like, they were like raging. It was like a party.
You didn't want to,
No.
not that we didn't want to say, but we had to go watch the FSU game.
Exactly.
And
so we gave him the ticket. So Christo, hey man, did we win?
Yeah, did we win?
In our new office, Christo, it'd be great for us to have one of those mannequins.
We might be sharing or underneath their office.
Sharing a building.
Yeah, sharing a
We're
building.
moving offices. We got to be out of our studio, which I think a lot of our listeners have been to in February.
Yeah. Which we're fine about. It's a new chapter. We're turning a page.
Way too much space that we don't use. So, yeah.
A lot of space we don't use. And also I've never really felt like, so we've always been sharing a space with Stag and Hair, which is the other creative agency. And we love them. We love Andrew. He's been amazing to us. And I don't know if you feel this way, but I've kind of always felt like it's not like our own, Like it's like, I'm like, we're here, we're in this space, but Andrew,
he designed everything.
He designs everything, which obviously very appreciative.
I feel like it's our own because we pay the rent, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a new chapter.
We just didn't design it.
Yeah, we didn't design it. There's Stag and Hair stuff everywhere where we don't have big niche.
We got a giant niche flag over your head.
I'm just telling you how I feel.
Okay.
So I'm kind of excited to have our own space where we have full control over it.
The irony is you said, can we ask Andrew to design it?
Well, yeah, but with our branding in mind.
Okay.
Because he's really talented.
Oh boy. Yeah, so that's going to happen here soon. So we're either going to stay in Studioplex or we're moving to the building with Melrose and McQueen.
Yeah.
We're staying in Inman Park. Don't worry, folks. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. And there might be some cool new stuff happening in whatever space we go into.
There's definitely going to be some cool new stuff happening.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
So on that note of new things that are happening.
Related to that,
so Speed Club Saturdays has officially kicked off, but it officially
was
kicked
supposed
off
to
with
officially
nobody. because
they're all scared of rain.
Well, because Dr. Ansley Long told us it was 100% chance going to downpour. And
100%.
Then Chad showed up.
You ever thought about this? How can it be 100% chance? It can't be 100% chance of rain.
Yeah, it should be 100%.
It's just 100% going to rain.
Yeah.
There's not a chance.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That blow your mind, Ansley?
With the weather industry, is there's not a lot of confidence. It's 100% chance.
Yeah. Explain that to us, Ansley. Dr. Long.
100%.
How can there be 100% chance?
So it didn't actually rain at all on the route, and you did the entire route, and I went running.
I didn't do the entire route, but I showed up. It was.
We thought one person would show up.
It was sprinkling. Okay. On the way there, first of all, it was 5-foot visibility because of the fog.
Yeah, which is why I didn't go. I was like, I don't want to.
But I had my new Garmin.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Stay tuned, Wahoo people, because I just said Garmin. I got some attention with that, didn't
Lord.
I? So it was foggy, and it sprinkled on me riding to the coffee shop, the meeting place.
But you got a donut.
Perk. I got a donut. I told you why I got a donut because I knew if I ate a donut, I would have to ride. That's why I got a donut, because I knew if I just got an espresso, I was like, I could easily just go back. But I'm like, no, I'm gonna get a damn donut because I'm gonna, rain or shine, I'm gonna ride if I get a donut. So
True.
I got a sprinkle
It's
donut.
one strategy to working out.
I 100% expected.
I won't work out if I don't eat junk food.
Right. I think a lot of people do that. I was 100% expecting someone to be there. I thought Dan Brewer would ride up. I thought Jackson would. But like the real
What was their
weirdos
excuse,
that
fam?
never heard from them. I never, and I think they rode inside. I don't know of anyone that rode outside other than Johnny Atkins, who always rides
Does
up.
he even have a trainer?
Yeah.
I don't think he rides inside.
So it rained, and it rained when I started riding. I was
Yeah.
wearing a raincoat, and it was like 50 degrees. So it's
Not that bad.
it wasn't Belgium. Like
Yeah.
I definitely have ridden
Yeah,
much
yeah, for
worse.
sure.
And so yeah, and then
Miami people would be riding in parkas.
they wouldn't ride. They 100% would
They
not
would
ride.
not ride. There's a lot of things I love about Miami, but
Yeah.
they wear long sleeves and base layers when it's like 70.
I looked that up the other day when they were all bundled up, and it was
so
like
funny.
60. It was like
yeah,
60
it was like
degrees.
65 degrees. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
So I rode south, and then when I got to Forest Park, I checked, and the radar was completely clear.
Yeah.
So there's no better feeling than you go out and ride, and knowing that no one else did. There is no better feeling.
There's
than
a theme to this podcast, and it's that Chad really likes to feel superior to everyone.
It's not true.
And those closest
But
to
you
him.
know that's true. You know that's true that there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you got home from the ride, you went on and on and on about a new product that you had just purchased for me, but you were testing it out.
Yeah, it's mine now. I got the new Garmin Varia. I guess it's not new. It's been out for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure
But
DeMeyer had
it's
that
the
for a
new
long time.
version. The new version.
You made fun of DeMeyer
I did.
when he got it. You made fun of a lot of people when they first got it.
I made fun of it, but then I remember DeMeyer telling me that it just gave him a little bit of peace of mind.
Yeah.
And then there's
What made you buy it? So,
I read an article that
Oh, okay.
that said there's two types of cyclists in the world: the people that love the Varia, which is, by the way, if for people to understand, it's a little light that goes on the back of your bike that tells you, that's radar that tells you when cars are approaching, and it tells you how fast they're approaching and like how many cars.
it shows like on the screen on your
Yes, it'll show like multiple cars.
yeah.
And so I read that article that said there's two types of cyclists in the world. That there's either the folks that love the Varia and rely on it tremendously, and then there's the people that haven't tried it.
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about how it gives you this peace of mind, and it truly does. Like it's so it connects, and then you can see there's a bar. It's just a bar on the left that's green when you're clear, like there's no cars coming. And that just having that feeling like cars can never surprise you.
Yeah.
And what I started doing was like, as you see cars approaching, you can see how close they're getting. You can just like give a glance over your shoulder, your left shoulder, and like look at them. No one buzzed me. It's like them knowing that you know who they are. There's like nothing happened. It also, though, if like someone's like hauling butt and like coming up on you, it like,
You've already cursed in the podcast, so you might as well just say
hauling
ass.
ass. Okay. It goes like red and it goes nuts. So you
Yeah.
can just like get over. Like what I do is like I ride further left now, and as a car, I can see when the car's coming. Then I just move over.
See,
to the right.
I wish in I was thinking about this the other day. I think the future is that device will speak to the autonomous vehicle, and the autonomous vehicle will move around you.
Yeah.
Like it won't. Like
Well,
I
hopefully
think,
the autonomous vehicle will see you without that device.
yeah,
telling it
but
to
I
do it.
think, or even I think, imagine if that device connected into someone's car and it alerted them. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no reason that shouldn't work. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully Wahoo's thinking about this, but I mean, I was thinking about why wouldn't all bikes just one day
Have that built in.
already have it built in?
Yeah, yeah, it's so
In
true.
every seat post, there is a radar detector.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't that already? Like, I think we're headed to a situation where bikes are completely integrated with technology. Like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna. It's just all gonna be together.
Yeah.
Like, so why wouldn't that? The lights, the radar, all that's in the seat post.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's definitely a game changer. So if there's any ladies out there that are thinking about what to get their cycling husbands as a surprise stocking stuffer, definitely get that. You can
Or
get,
any husbands thinking about what to get their cycling wives.
That's true. I mean, I did buy one for you.
Yeah, I'm terrified of riding in this city now.
Yeah, no, I think you'll like this a lot. So did you did ask me, I mean, I think there's one gift recommendation. You asked me to think of things that you could get the guy that has everything. Yeah, so it is hard to buy guys gifts because these guys get later in their careers, if they want something, they just buy it, right? Like that's what you always get mad at me about. It's like I just buy it.
Well, and you don't need as much. Like
Yeah, you
women,
don't
like,
need
we
as
can
much.
always like have more stuff.
Exactly. Like you
Like,
just
we're
don't
always
need
like, I
stuff.
can have another blouse. I can have another pair of shoes.
Yeah, like I
another
don't
bag,
need that.
more jewelry.
I think I would recommend think about experiences. Like what experiences can you purchase for that guy
Like, give an example.
that he's not going to do himself for whatever reason? A good example, a couple of good examples. One would be, especially if they're like an endurance athlete, think of an event that they could go to that they're probably not doing for whatever reason because, I don't know, you have to take off time.
I mean, there's like a lot of guilt around like kids and this.
Yeah,
and that.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
like Steamboat's a great example. Like, I would love to go Steamboat, but my wife
I don't want
and
to. I don't want to
kids.
put the pressure on like, my
Yeah.
significant other to have to deal with everything.
So that guy, if his wife bought him or registered him for Steamboat and said we're going to Steamboat, like that would like blow his mind, right?
Make sure you register him for like the longest distance though,
Yeah, the black. Register that guy for the black.
because that'll give him motivation to train.
Yeah. And so, an event like that or a running event, like I
Yeah.
think just in making it a cool destination, I think that would mean so much to someone that
Mm-hmm.
like to a guy that has everything, quote.
Well, what I see is guys are so scared to ask their wives, and I know we're like
100%.
we're kind of like generalizing that like men are always having to ask women, but that is kind of the case in cycling. Guys are so scared to ask their wives, like, hey, can I go do this event with a bunch of my guy friends?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think to take that stress away and just like say, no, like it's fine. Like go have fun, go do this race.
Yeah.
And better yet, like join, like go, like plan it out so far that like you can also go to the race and like have fun because there's definitely a lot to do for spouses as well. You don't have to just be racing.
Yeah. And like non-sports, like a concert, like, but not in your hometown.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, go somewhere.
Buy tickets
Vegas, New
to Luke Bryan concert in Jackson Hole. Like that's the kind of thing that means a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's about the experience. So like we weren't able to do it, but you got me tickets to U2 in Las Vegas for
Yeah.
the Sphere. We had to cancel it because
Yesterday.
it was yesterday when we had to cancel it because of work. But like that was a great idea. Like those are the kind of things I think that guys appreciate instead of just stuff.
Yeah. What else?
Like if you were like you gotta have like recommend something that like a tangible thing, like I could just said like the Garmin is a good idea. There's a I don't have one of these. There's a pump that's like a travel pump, but it's like the size of a it's like the size of
What's it called?
It's called a Fumpa.
A Fumpa?
Yeah, FUMPA.
This cannot be a U.S. made thing.
It's no, it's not actually. It's Australian.
No
But it's
American would ever call their product a Fumpa.
it's Australian.
Is it an acronym? Does it stand
No,
for something like
I want one though.
fun?
I want
you,
one.
Pump me up, like what? Like
It's
what?
a pump, but it's the size of a 2 like cigarette boxes. It's that size, and it has a
So
digital.
that's
scale.
what the Aussies liken it to. 2 cigarette boxes.
I would think so. Yeah.
Is that on their website?
No, I just made that. Up.
Oh, okay. I might.
I'll give that to
Get
them.
yourself a pump size of 2 cigarette boxes.
Yeah. I also think about like guys that have everything, like they want things that are gonna last forever. Like they want to like have something, like if you give them something, they want it to be like
memories last forever.
yeah, like I want to keep it forever. Like one idea I had was a pocket knife. So the James brand.
But you have like 10 pocket knives, so I can't get you another pocket knife.
No, this isn't about me. You
Well, I feel
asked.
like you're like subliminally trying to give me
No,
ideas.
you told me to do this.
But
You
I've
told
already
me.
gotten you things that aren't any of the things you're listed talking about.
Okay, well, you should have asked for this episode beforehand. You told me to think about.
I'm not getting
I'm
another. I already did the concert thing and we had to cancel.
I'm talking about things that I have that I
And you
appreciate.
bought yourself the GPS thing.
Well, I bought it for you.
Yeah, but you used it.
Okay. The James brand is a very nice pocket knife brand. And
I did get you a James brand.
You
pocket
did.
knife,
You
yeah.
bought me this knife.
I think I
and
bought you at least 5 knives in our
the
relationship.
reason why pocket knives are important is because spouses, ladies out there love Amazon, and we spend a good portion of our life breaking down boxes. And a pocket knife is a really good tool to have to break down boxes. So that's really important. That reminds me, you remember the story a few weeks ago at Stomp and Chomp when we were sitting there? We just met the guy.
Yeah.
We just met the
Yeah.
guy that was
Alex's
with
friend.
Caitlin and Alex. I have no idea what his name was, and he was sitting next to me, and a guy walked by, and he could see the guy had a clipped-in pocket knife
in his pocket.
and he made fun of him.
Why did he make fun of him? I don't understand.
He said, "What do you think that guy's using that knife for?" And I was like, "That
You never
knife."
know when you're gonna have to shank someone.
I was like, "That knife? That's not a knife, mate. This is a knife." And I pulled out my knife.
Wait, why did you just do an Australian accent like that?
It's a famous scene.
It was like a redneck Australian accent.
No, it's a scene from a movie called Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, I see. Okay. I do think he's like the redneck version.
He
of
was.
Australia,
So it was actually like perfect. That was a perfect end. So everyone that's my age
Over
just
the
laughed
age
at
of
that.
40.
Yeah. And
And then Alex,
and then Alex stood up and he had one in his pocket too. And I was like,
So
what about
why
him?
does every man love the Roman Empire and carrying pocket knives?
We gotta break boxes down. It's a tool. My grandfather had
What else are you carrying the pocket knife for?
That's just a tool.
Oh, just a tool.
My grandfather had a pocket knife in his but actual pocket knife. Both of them, both my grandfathers had pocket knives their whole lives. And it's just a tool.
I
Never
carry
know
a
when you
pocket
need a
knife
knife.
in my purse.
Okay.
But
See?
mine's definitely for shanking like someone that's gonna attack me. Because I don't break down that many boxes.
No, you don't. No, you don't break down any boxes. So that I think other things that last, I think things that guys won't buy themselves that last, like a leather jacket, is always really good.
Do you have any recommendations of like where to get a leather jacket? Because
I mean, All Saints. I've had an All Saints leather jacket for 15 years. If you've known me, you've seen me in a black leather jacket. I get compliments on it. It's maybe older than 15 years.
Rag and Bone.
Yeah, or Bellstaff. I think
Bellstaff, yeah.
Bellstaff has.
I got you that leather jacket from Bellstaff.
Well, that's actually waxed.
Or
A waxed canvas jacket. I would recommend those too, like a Bellstaff waxed canvas jacket.
But a Bellstaff leather jacket's pretty pricey.
Yeah, that's on the high
It's like
end.
gonna hit you in the thousands of dollars.
Yeah, probably 1,500 or so.
Yeah, but All Saints is not affordable, but it's
500, 400
more affordable than
for
that.
a leather jacket. Yeah. I mean, I think things like that. Like think about things that are going to last a long time. Think about a well-made pair of boots.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that I think guys appreciate that aren't going to be disposable, right?
Yeah.
So experiences, I think, would number one. But so so that's us for the week. Next week we're going to be in New York all week with client work.
I have not made any reservations. We are staying like for one night in New York City. I haven't made any reservations anywhere.
We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it. So we are going to miss next week's Speed Club, but make sure you sign up for the Speed Club newsletter. Oh, and with that, I do want to do a shout out to Micah Rice at Steamboat. Micah, we've got like 15 people coming.
I thought it was like 20.
It's like, I think it might be 17.
We have a lot.
So Speed Club members, we are headed back to Steamboat next year. I know it's in August, but you got to register for it now. And we're going to have a huge group going, including the Wahooligans too. Like they're going to have a huge group going. So that's going to be really fun. We're really excited about that. Outside of that, I think the next time you hear from us will be in New York.
All right. Well, this has been a fun episode that has nothing to do with work. So I feel like we're kind of getting away from.
It's not true. We talked about culture.
I think I like the evolution of like personal and then like goes back to it. It's it's a balance of all of it because like the last one was very work heavy.
With Todd.
Yeah, with Todd.
Yeah.
And so this one's a little bit of levity. It's like in the it's the comic relief in a drama.
There you go.
We're the comic relief.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for hearing about how awesome I am at Spotify.
Yeah, the non-competitive one. But I think it was episode 25. So we're signing off episode 25, a quarter century.
Yeah, can't wait to hear what song you close us out with. All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Sweetness, I was only joking.